Me and Vin were close. Really close, actually. We spent a lot of time together at a lot of pretty big sporting events in the state. Sports was our common bond, especially hockey. We both died for the Boston Bruins. And one memory I have of Vin is before the Bruins won the Stanley Cup for the first time in 2011. Nobody cared about hockey, not in Boston. And hockey was just nobody cared about the Bruins anyways. It was sort of just a dead sport. And except for me and Vinny. I sometimes go 3 days a week to the Boston Garden to see hockey with him. And the next winter, the Boston Bruins played in a tournament at Fenway Park, which is the Boston Red Sox home park, which is a very big deal. And it was going to be the Boston Bruins and the hated Philadelphia Flyers were going to play in Fenway Park. This was the biggest ticket of the winter in the city of Boston. And all of a sudden, Vinny always had 1,000 friends, but he had 1,000,000 friends this weekend. Everybody in the city wanted those tickets, and they were offering him whatever it took to get them. Their houses, their firstborns, their souls. And because I was always there and I was loyal, to the Bruins and to going to games with him, he could have gave those tickets to anyone for any amount of money, and instead he chose me to go to that game with him, and obviously, he didn't charge any money for it. And boy, was that a hell of a game. It went into double overtime until Mark Rickey scored the winning goal in double overtime, and you never heard Fenway Park just rock the way it rocked that afternoon. Like, that whole building shook. It was insane. And I remember Vin calling me the next day or the day after, and he said, Jesus, Reichel, I can't use my left arm. And I said, yeah, I probably got a little carried away. So when that goal was scored, I hit my uncle so hard in the arm, like screaming, yes, yes, that it black and blued his entire arm, and he couldn't use it for a week.
Yeah.
And that's one of my fondest memories of Ben. There's many more.
Excellent.
Very good.
If it was the right arm, I thought it might be from lifting.
Yeah. It was from getting a hard walloping for me.
If there's a left arm, that's understandable.
I got a little excited.
I was in Fenway Park, but not at hockey. And myself and Veronica we went to see the Bruins against the Maples, and so we had a lot of times. But I just start with I suppose, he, as he said, to say farewell to Vinny, and he's a lot of friends here. He was very good friends to us, and first of all, I want to thank yourself and Ashley for inviting us and for bringing him back on his final journey to Kalmiski, the place he loved, the place that Helen and Vinny loved, and so, and Vincent, his parents loved, so to bring him back on that journey, thank you very much for that. I've been friends with him as well. I knew him since I was a child, but I became friends with him in the early 90s when I started to go to Boston, and when I worked in Allegan, if you were off for a week, you were called in Monday for the wage, so I used to kind of go to Boston to get away from here, and so I wasn't called in. But I started to go to Boston, and Vinny wouldn't be mad that I think would be one for records, but last year when he was here, he told me that I was 18 times in Newton Street. I don't know how many times I was there, but some of them from work, some of them just going directly over there, but I was there a lot of times. And during my time there, I went to see the Celtics and the Bruins, I went to see the Patriots, I went to see the Red Sox, Red Sox stuff was long, and we luckily we had a concession beside us, and we could go out and have a hot dog and a beer. But we mostly we went to the pub. Right. Actually, we were in Boston. We went to them games. I was at maybe 3 or 4 games of each, but mostly went to the pub. Myself and Vinny, we were mostly drinking buddies. You know, and then later on, when Veronica started to come to Boston with me, I think Veronica came 3 times. I saw Boston. You know, I got to see it, and saw the museums and the John F. Kennedy Library and Quail. I saw all the, you know, the things of Boston, but I hadn't seen them in the previous years. I suppose one thing that I'd like to just, as we're here today, to remember his family, like his brother Tommy and Diana, Dee, the caller, and Renee and her husband Nabil and Lila and Zian. And to remember the ones that have gone before us, Helen and Vincent, who loved it here, you know, like they were so good to my parents, you know. My parents went to Boston with them. They done everything together, but they were fantastic people. And then Tommy and Mary Jo, you know, and Mary T, who was here. Mary T was here in the early days, you know. And I'd also kind of like to remember Vinny's friends when the football season was on, and on a Sunday or a Saturday or Sunday, the neighbours and friends gathered into 15 Newton Street and watch the game. Vinny be on the barbecue. He would, you know, we'd have the boat, and all the Budweiser would be there, and you know, people came in and we watched the game. We watched the Patriots and all of that. Then there was other friends that went into the sports, like Ellen Cremens, you know, we called to visit, and I think you've watched it. But one person I'd like to think of especially today is Pam. Pam shared so many life events with Vinny. The two of them came here to Kalaniski, I think in 1969. They were both 17. They were boyfriend and girlfriend. They came here at 17 years of age. You know, and I can still remember that. Jim McDonald was living in the house here at that time, and since that time they've shared so many life events and memories, you know. And I'm going to finish off with Pam sent me a prayer, and she uses it in a beautiful card, like she always does. But she sent me a prayer, which is you know her heritage is Native American, but it's called it's a Native American prayer, and I'm going to read it if I can. My eyes is good, but my arm is short. I give you this one thought to keep. I am with you still, I do not sleep. I am 1,000 winds that blow. I am the diamond glints on snow. I am the sunlight on ripened grain. I am the gentle autumn rain. When you wake in the morning's hush, I am the swift uplifting rush of a quiet bird in separate flight. I am the soft stars that shine at night. Do not think of me as gone. I am with you still in each new dawn. Now, Vincent, we didn't know what music he liked, but I know that he liked the poet Patrick Kavanagh. And so we were talking about it last night to Richard, and Richard will sing a Patrick Kavanagh song. And you weren't able to tell me about his music. I know he liked the Irish tenors and he liked Celtic voices, but Richard will sing Patrick Kavanagh song, if that's okay.
Yeah, lovely. This is Rag and Road. You probably know you might know the Luke Kelly version. But,
Yeah.
Here we go. On Raglan Road of an autumn day, I saw her first and knew that her dark hair would weave a snare that I might one day rue. I saw the danger and I passed along the enchanted way. And I said, let grief be a fallen leaf at the dawning of the day. On a quiet street where old ghosts meet, I see her walking now, away from me so hurriedly. My reason must allow that I had loved not as I should, a creature made of clay, but I loved too much, and by such is happiness thrown away.
Could be in a band.
Really good.